こういう取材は得意ですか？
I have no problem. Like for me, I think it's part of the job. You know, like that you have to be ready to do this kind of stuff. But my number one is I enjoy being on the training field. Yeah, it's gone very quickly, but it's been a lot of work. Yeah, it only feels like yesterday you walk through the door and you realise, you know, what a big job it is and what a great club it is, and you know, you want to do your best for the club and for the supporters, most importantly. You know, from the top, from the beginning, I was asked basically, you know, two main things to really focus on that's important to this club, which is to bring back an attacking identity, which, you know, for the club felt it was their best period in their history when they had this real attacking mentality. And the second part was to try to help young players progress as well into the first team. And that's a big thing for a club that's had some really great homegrown players have some special careers. If I look at those two objectives and think about the season that we've had, I think we've really come a long way. Yeah, look, I mean, that's not something that was expected when I first took on the job. But, you know, I looked at it as an opportunity, and as an opportunity to you know, find the type of players that maybe can even help us more, you know, and ultimately I think we did a lot of good work with the way we recruited in that area, and it's helped us a lot this season. Yeah, you can never be certain of when it starts to work or the right timing, but you know, to go to the rival, you know, at their home ground and to go score 5 goals, I think exceeded a lot of people's expectations. Not mine necessarily, because I believe we could do that many times. But it was a great way to build some belief in what we're doing. I mean, if you look at that game, you get a real understanding of what I have as a vision for what I believe the players are capable of, and you know, I think maybe it was a real positive, obviously, the result, but it maybe set up an expectation that happens very easily, and it doesn't happen easily. It only happens if you're really courageous and you play with no fear, which they did on that day, and then they have to get used to being able to do that every single day. Yeah, I mean, that was not surprising for me. I still felt maybe that first game, you know, they didn't completely understand why that first game went the way it did and what they have to keep doing every day to replicate that. But I guess those things are important, like those periods where things aren't going well. I think they're very important for a team. They test you, they test who you are as a person, what you believe in, and eventually I knew that if we just stay consistent with our messaging, that will change. Yeah, I'm probably agreeing with you. I felt in terms of performance, attacking, defending, physical mentality, dealing with setbacks, I just felt that was exactly what I really think the picture of this team should look like. You know, for me that day there was an energy and a belief in the group that no matter what happened in that game, they were going to find a way to win. Well, I think there's nothing that's not important, but I think it's extremely important. Developing a winning mentality is one thing that the champion teams have. You know, and even you look at that game and Kashima, you know, that was a tough game for them on the day. They also show their mentality because look what they do afterwards in the season. And the thing is, the question should be why weren't we able to do that, and what's missing in the mentality to do that? I don't think that's just about players. I think that's a whole club that is desperate to win something and pushing in the same direction. I think that's the most important part. No, I think it's credit to Shinji for the way he's looked after himself and tried to be at the top of his game for, you know, over 20 years now. I don't think any of us are satisfied with still not winning something this year, because the job here is to make Cerezo become a club that wins trophies. But also, you know, I looked back and in the last 5 seasons for Shinji, I think it's the most minutes he's played, the most goals he's scored. So credit to him for his professionalism to keep on trying to be better every day. There's too many. I think we really scored some amazing goals this year. You know, what's important is I think every goal is beautiful because I like the idea of scoring goals, first of all. You can score a goal within 2 passes or 3 passes, or you can score a goal with 20 passes. The main thing is you score the goal. But I really think there's a beauty in seeing teams score goals. You know, and like I said, you know, it takes a lot of courage to do that like we've done. So in that area, we've been very strong. I've always been, you know, really clear that it's important how you train. It's really important how you affect the culture in a good way. As long as you're training well and, you know, always 100% professional, you've always got a chance to play. That can be on the first day you arrive, and even it can be if you haven't played for a long time, you're still always available for selection if you're prepared for it. Yeah, but I think they're just players that are part of a team that is trying to play a certain way, and they've all got their own qualities. Thiago on one wing, Shiva on the other wing, they're completely different players. We always try to bring out their qualities, you know, but also, you know, the team scores a lot of goals because also the team works really hard to win the ball back high. We try to put a lot of pressure on the defence, so then they get tired and then eventually spaces start to open, and that's when they can use their qualities. It's maybe more difficult for me to convince the attackers to defend with more intensity if they're not scoring goals, but they're all having career best seasons this year. No, we prepare exactly the same. Any game that's there to be won, any training session that we have to have, it has to be at 100%. At some stage there'll maybe be communication from the club of what their objectives are. You know, and my job is to keep growing our football and like I said, maintain our attacking identity, develop the players as the objectives they set me, but also to keep winning. Yeah, it's not something that I think is to talk about now, because obviously there's some things that we want to be able to do and there's also some things we don't control. So if we can't keep certain players for some reason, then we might have to recruit, and that's also part of it. But I still go back to the most important part is that, you know, whatever decisions we make, we should be trying to get stronger. We should be thinking about how can we improve our playing style, how can we, you know, get closer to success. I think the manager's job gets more and more difficult every year. I think obviously the job is a very important job. You have the expectations of the club, you have the expectations of the supporters. I think it's an important job, of course. I still think the most important part is, you know, are the club clear in what they want to achieve and what they need to do to achieve it. I love Japanese football because I believe Japan always is a country that thinks in the long term. I believe the people have the discipline and the mentality to persevere with something. So for me, it's like have the vision, keep making sure you're staying connected to the vision and try your best to achieve it at the right time. But change can be good, and change doesn't also necessarily mean it's the right thing to change. As an example, I'm an Arsenal supporter. Arsenal now is in the 6th season with Arteta, 6 seasons. Every year they try to improve the squad, improve the playing style. They make changes every year, and all of a sudden now everyone says they're the best team in Europe right now, but that's taken 6 years. I mean, that's the plan, but like I said, the main thing is that we stay focused on trying to achieve this vision together. And that means every day, even today, we should be focusing on it, not thinking about 6 months and if we take it serious or not. We take it 100% serious because, yeah, you're very lucky to work in this job and you should not waste a day. But even with Dion, like I coached Dion before in Buriram, he did exactly the same thing for me in the Asian Champions League. He was centre back and he went to right winger and created a goal. I know he has this ability to play in multiple positions. Yeah, so, and Kengo, we know, one thing he can do very well is he's a good finisher in the box. Very important. Like, I feel that energy of a team is really important over a long period of time. He's not the only one, but he's definitely one that brings a lot of energy into everything. At the same time, I've spoken to him about that's a great quality to have, but he also must be determined to become a top professional that can really contribute on the field as well. Yeah, not really, to be honest. Like, I enjoy my music, I like going for coffee and spending time with my family. That's basically what I do, Yeah. That's my next objective in Osaka, to maybe start a business with a Greek coffee. But I've been really, I've been so, happy that I've seen sometimes even the flags in the stadium with the Greek flags, which is something that's close to my heart. It's very nice. Yeah, I have both passports. So we were born in Australia, but my family was born in Greece. So even though we grew up in Australia, we grow up more feeling like we're Greek as a family. Like my grandparents only spoke Greek. No, you can, but no, it's a very it was my grandfather's name, actually a Greek name, and I was given that name to honour my grandfather. It was one of the best times of my life. Yeah, it was just an amazing thing for them, Greek team to win the European Championships, because we're not the strongest football country, but it shows you that you have, if you have something special, everything's possible. No, I was just amazed at what a great supporter base we have, from open training sessions to stadium to away games. I really respect our supporters and the way they get behind the team. It's a supporter base that hasn't had enough success, and for me, I'm desperate to leave this place in winning a trophy so they can have one of the best days of their lives. But yeah, it can't be done without them, and we've still got a long way to go, but that's for me what's driving me every day.
ありがとうございました。Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Could you take a picture?
No.